Lisa Gets an F1 is the 12th episode of the 35th season of The Simpsons. This is directed by Timothy Bailey, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. It's not a great episode. It started off strong, and then the bulk of it was pretty poor, and then the ending was actually pretty good. So in general, it's not the worst, but I'd say I enjoyed probably less than half of it. It started off with Lisa in a go-kart, and then we cut to several months earlier, and Homer is recklessly driving, and they arrive at Lisa's therapy appointment. I quite like this part of it. She has anxiety due to a lack of control, painfully relatable, and it turns out that one of the things that's really affecting her anxiety is Homer's driving, and he's angered by this. He storms out. He's on the phone video calling the therapist and gets into a car crash. Pretty good lesson there. And the therapist suggests that they try exposure therapy so Lisa can get behind the wheel and be in control. And she does. She gets behind the wheel of a go-kart. Turns out she really likes it and she's really good at it. And then we have a tremendously long scene where an announcer is announcing this go-kart race and the racers, and it is so boring. The pacing is terrible. There's a bit of a subplot with Bart and one of the racers, Paolo, and I didn't mind the character, but I didn't care for any of the scenes with Bart and Paolo. I found them to be very, very dull. And then things picked up towards the end. Lisa is feeling better about things. Homer is now worried, and Homer is worried, first of all, because Marge isn't worried, and Marge usually worries a lot, but also because Homer's not in control of Lisa. Not that he wants to control her, but he can't control her safety, so he's worried about it. Granted, he wasn't worried when he was driving recklessly, but now it's his turn to panic, and things got quite interesting towards the end because we find out that somebody has sabotaged Lisa's go-kart for this final race. And I will be honest, I was quite keen to see what was going to happen. I was very curious to find out what would happen next, and honestly, it's a little... Nah, it's fine. It's not the most dramatic, it's not the most exciting, but it works well enough. And we have a sweet moment with Lisa and Homer. So there are some strong moments in the episode, but I'd say they're quite few and far between. It really isn't... It's not a brilliant episode. There are some good bits, but in general, it's very slow. There's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of padding. Honestly, I probably wouldn't watch it again. Lisa Gets an F1 is not the worst episode of The Simpsons. But honestly, apart from the scene at the therapist's office, and then a couple of minutes towards the end, I didn't care for it. I like the messages. We have some good messages in here. But as an entertaining episode, well, I wasn't really entertained.